Well, hello there, everybody. It's the next day, and boy, did it take a lot of work to get these loose. Now, I spared you guys about an hour's worth of boring, horrendous, torching, hammering, impacting, on and on and on and on for an hour. That's the problem with living in Minnesota. Rust. Now, as I said, it's not as bad as living in the East, in New England, but it's bad. I had an impact, well able to do the job, and even then it took work. It was about a half an hour each side, where I would heat it up, spray PV blaster on it, impact it, heat it up, PV blaster, impact, and just do that cycle over and over and over again until it spun. That's the nut, the horrible castle nut that belongs on the axle shaft. I also had one heck of a time getting these 3 bolts out of the back here that hold the spindle on. So that's where we are now. Everything has been busted free. So let's go ahead and get back to this. Get the hub out, get the axle shaft out, and get the U-joints replaced. From here on out, should be pretty simple. We'll find that out, I guess. I did find out one thing on the other side. It appears that the retaining ring that holds the bottom ball joint in place may not be there anymore. It looks like the ball joint might have actually slipped down. Now, if you guys remember when we did my tires, I pointed out that there was a gap up here on the other side between the ball joint and the spindle armature here, and I wasn't understanding why there was a gap there. Well, I think the whole unit slid downwards. So when we get this side done and jump on the other side, I'm not sure if I'm going to film the other side. There's really no point in filming both sides, but what I might do is just film the damage to the other side that's going to have to be fixed, or find out what's going on anyways. So again, let's go ahead and get started, and we're going to get started by getting these bolts out of the back here. Now, you notice I got the wheels turned. I found it actually easier to get to these bolts in the back by having the wheels turned one way or the other. I have access to them. Stupidly, I really didn't think about that. It wouldn't have mattered though, because I had to heat these up just as much as I had to heat that spindle nut or the axle shaft nut up. And what these are very long, very rusty bolts that go from the back here all the way up to the very front of the spindle. They thread into the spindle and hold the hub on. Yeah, a lot of rust in the threads, and that's why they didn't want to back out. Whoa, sounds like that fender is getting a little soft there with me leaning against it. Well, it needs to be fixed or replaced anyway, so it really doesn't matter a whole lot. I had a plan for this year but it didn't get done, of course. I bought some bed liner, and what I have planned to do is tape off. I wanted to do all the body work, of course, first, but to tape off my fenders, about a 4-inch strip all the way around the fenders, down the doors, across the rockers to the back up over the back fender and into the back bumper, and I want all of that bed lined. That will prevent any rust from ever forming ever again. The stuff is airtight, and up here, definitely needed if we want to save our trucks. Of course, I didn't get to it, and now the body's a little worse for wear than it was. But it'll get done. The bigger priority is actually getting the critical items handled, and this being part of it is just these U-joints. I think about 5 years ago I put U-joints in the front drive shaft, and I still had U-joints to put in the back drive shaft. Oh, don't even go there. Well, it's unthreaded anyways. So yeah, anyway, I still have U-joints to put in the drive line in the back drive shaft. I believe it is. I'd have to double check everything. Anyways, I don't know if you guys can see this or not. Maybe I can scoot you over here. But as you can see, this bolt doesn't want to come out all the way because it's hitting the ball joint threads. So, yeah, I mean, it's unthreaded from the hub, so that's what we got, I guess. So let's get the other one out. We'll get the hub off, get the axle out, get the U-joints replaced, and it is done. Alright. So now there's a nut over here on this back side. Yeah, I gotta get that back out, don't I? Oh, where is it? Oh, you guys completely missed it. I had a universal joint, a 1/2-inch universal joint that just exploded on me under 120 psi impact. Cranking on it and just went everywhere. That was fun. Alright, so what happened? Well, I guess we'll use something here. I can't remember what size was it, guys. You remember? Oh, that'll work. Get these U-joints in here, then I can get my car in here, because I need my heat controls. Right now, my blend door doesn't work. It is either scalding hot or ice cold. And Well, it's about to drop down to a high of 30 on Saturday. So, and the ball joint is spinning. What a surprise. So, I wonder why that's spinning. That shouldn't be spinning, considering I already had it out. Okay, fine. You want to be that way? I'll get the tools. Well, let's see if the impact can run it off. Yep, there we go. That's what we needed. Just a good impact. All right, now that bolts out. And that's it. There's nothing else holding this flange on except pressure. You can see here, there is no connection between the drive shaft and the hub anymore. So, it's going to get loud because I have a hammer. I don't think it's going to be easy to get up, but you never know. Boy, those U-joints are just cooked. That's just the washer that goes in there. That's no big deal. However, not seeing very much separation yet. Nope. Oh boy. Well, of course, I did round that out a little bit, so that's going to have to be ground down on the flange because now it won't fit in the socket. That's what you got to be careful of. Sometimes that's going to happen. I really don't want to have to fire up my air compressor again, but I might have to and use my air hammer. Wow, she is on there. Alrighty, well, let's get the air compressor going. Okay, guys, I don't know where my power hammer head went, but I do have my driver here. It's a little wedge driver. Hopefully that'll work. Hammerhead is nice, but I suppose since I can't get back in here very good to begin with, we'll see. This will probably be just as effective. And I will probably have to turn the volume down quite a bit during this. So let's see how loud it actually gets. She got some noise to her. Should probably be wearing something on my ears at least. Wow. She is stuck good, just like the nut was. There's nothing holding the hub to the spindle together aside from rust and pressure. Yeah. So it's just a matter of working it off. Oh boy. I backed it out just enough to get it out of the way. Okay, guys. Well, is off. I have, well, all but destroyed the protection ring. Not that it's doing much good to begin with. So we'll see if I bother putting that back on. I'll have to clean up these edges that got chewed up because of that stupid thing. But as you can see, how much rust is on this thing is so thick I can flick it off. So this all has to be cleaned, ground flush again. I don't hear or feel any problems in this bearing. These are pretty heavy duty hubs. If they were getting worn out, I would feel or hear grinding, and I don't hear or feel grinding. It's nice and smooth. It's a little tight, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. So yeah, this is gonna have to be cleaned up. I won't bother doing that on camera and boring you with that. But here is the axle shaft. And of course now this is gonna have to be cleaned up too because it drug out tons of crap with it when it came out of the axle tube. Now for the big show. The whole reason for this mess is not only can you see I can't turn the bearing that way, so that side is frozen completely. But as you can see here, that's not supposed to do that. I don't even think there's bearings left in there. So what do you say we get this pulled apart and see if that's even possible, I guess. And press these bearings out. And we'll go from there. And now I actually have access to that grease fitting. So, yay. Yeah, these are a little chewed up now. Yikes. All has to be cleaned and flushed now. Alright, let me get this over to the press. Alright guys, so now that we got the axle shaft out, and you can see the U-joints are absolutely completely worthless. Inside here, since there's no outer clips, they're inside. Now I hope I don't need the air chisel again. We'll see. But without getting those inside clips out, there is no chance of getting these U-joints off. And I'm willing to bet this is going to be just as much of a fight as this joint is. And I'm not completely sure I can't do this without the air chisel. Alright, so I'm going to change from this lovely broken flat chisel tip to this pointed chisel tip because I need to get inside where the ring is. Go ahead and just unscrew that, pull that out, put the new one in, slip the spring collar back over, and you're ready for battle. Alright, so let's see here. I really don't know if there's even any way I can show this to you guys. Maybe I can at least try to give you guys a little look at it. All right. Right where the screwdriver tip is pointing, I don't know if you guys can see that or not. I know it's really difficult. But right where the screwdriver tip is pointing is the end of one of the rings. They're like 3/4 moons, and they just snap over and lock in place. So the job now is to take the tip of the air chisel and hit that ring and try to bust it out. Oh, this is gonna be an interesting one. Might have to go upside down because of this, where the spring sits. Okay, well, looks like we need a little bit of helpy helper. So let's go ahead and back this one out and then just lock it down there. With that retainer, you can see much, much better. Right here, right where the screwdriver is actually pointing, is the side of the ring. And I'll tell you this, when these do come out, these are definitely going to have to get cleaned. Otherwise, the new ones will not go in. Well, that one just broke in half. It's not supposed to be this cluttered over here, but it is for now. This is Minnesota rust. I really don't want to try to pop these, but I might have to. There are also options of using the press to try to press down on it enough where it might relieve some tension on this side, and I can pop it out that way, because it's really in there. And I mean really in there. Well, maybe. Yep. Now I need that screwdriver. It's not always the most fun on the fingers to hold onto an air chisel, but sometimes it gets the job done. That's what I'm talking about. That's the ring that goes over the U-joint. Trash. Alright, that one's off. Now let's see about this one here. It's right there. I mean, it's like right there. Gotcha. Give me back my rag. This is what we call a finger pinching situation. And I'll tell you, there's really nothing I don't like much more than internally clipped U-clips for U-joints, because they are such a pain. But the next pain is coming right here, trying to do the next set. Because try to flip that over a bit, because you need like 3 hands to do this. And because this side is so damn big, I saw you move. Yep, she popped. 3 out of 4 so far. And 1 left, and then we can press these out and press the new ones in. Well, of course, after I clean everything up. Which I won't bore you to death with that either. But when it's all ready to be worked again, you're going to be right there next to me. Finger pincher. Cannot see with my hat in the way. She's sliding. I got a little bleepity bleep, that's what I mean. Finger pincher. But we're almost there. I mean, it's halfway popped out. I know somebody's probably saying, why don't you just use the press to release the tension? Yeah, well, I'm already this far into it, so I'm not gonna go backwards. There we go. Now, all the clips are out. Now we flip it over and go over to the press. And we line everything up, tighten everything down. And hope the bear doesn't come and eat me. My work floor is a mess. It's all these things that have to be done before it snows, and everything's on top of that, including my tools. Alright, so what we have here is a 12-ton press. I'm probably gonna... we'll see. I'm not sure if I'm gonna have to move this plate up one or not. Maybe I can do that. Anyways, this armature comes down and will press onto the U-joint, and it'll press it through the cup that it's sitting in. And then I'll flip it over and do it for the other side and press these cups up and the U-joints will come apart. Yeah, it's just that simple. So I need, I hadn't finished making my pipe yet for this. I don't think I'm going to have enough run there. And I need a second plate. And what you're doing is you're just trying to line it up and square everything up. That way it goes down straight. Okay, so now the cup is, or the back side of the axle shaft is fairly flat. There's a little lift there. It's not too bad. We'll see how it is as it goes down. The problem is all the flop that's already there. I think I can run this down without having to lift this table up, because it can go up one more slot. I guess we'll see if it stops or not. Alright, so you can see right now it's kind of not set up at the right angle yet. Just got to try to line it up the best you can. And then we're just going to try sending it. Now, it would seem that I probably need, maybe I can just use something like this drill bit here that was just laying on the floor, just to give me a little bit extra leverage or level. Because that way the front doesn't buckle down while I'm trying to come down on top of it. Just trying to line everything up right, because this is where it counts. If you make a mistake here, things get broke. Yeah, that's the whole problem with doing U-joints. You can see the back end is lifting there. So, the reason it's lifting is because there's compression coming down on the front. I wonder if I can make this like surgical perfection. I'll let this back down here. And I'm going to remove that, that one plate there. Of course, Went all the way up, didn't it? There we go. A little bit better lighting. So it's gonna run this back down again. Jack. Alright. So now what I'm trying to do, and I went just a little too far. Okay. Alright. So what I want to see is if I can get this plate here just under the very tip of the backside of the U-joint. Where it's between the cup and the joint itself, to help provide that downward pressure that I'm trying to avoid from this thing doing while it's going down. It looks like it's behind the cup now. So, if this is correct, then neither end should lift. It should just go straight down. Yep. And I'm seeing the cup on the bottom side start to move. It moved about 1 millimeter. Okay. Well, that's a problem. The ear bent. And I don't know if I can fix that or not. And you guys can see there that the ear is actually bent and broke. Well, that answers that question. I now need a new axle shaft. That's what rust does. It seizes into place and it breaks shite. Yeah. Well, this just turned into a bigger problem than I wanted to deal with. Because I'm going to have to order a new shaft. And I'm going to have to wait until it shows up to be able to even possibly work on my car. I might be able to work on my car outside behind the truck. Not sure. We'll have to find out. So, for now, I'm gonna pause the video. I'm gonna see what I can come up with. I'm gonna see what I can figure out here. Maybe I can pick up an axle shaft at a yard or something instead of having to buy a new one that's way more expensive. Because that isn't going to work, and I, in all my years, have never seen that happen. I have never broken an ear. I've never seen one break. but it did this time. So, out of luck, unless I can get the rest of it separated and just replace this end. So, for now, I will see you all later, and when I get the axle shaft ready to be replaced, we'll pick this back up. Remember to like and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed watching this. I kind of enjoyed making it. I'm not too happy with that, but accidents happen. And again, when I get the replacement, we'll pick this back up. So have a good night, and I will see you all later.